They never say, they're chatting amongst themselves, they never say work with animals or mythical creatures, the omen and the bull. But you two have been chatting already. I've got to ask Spencer Oliver here, obviously, and Johnny the Bull Fisher, the ruffian now with his mullet. The scallywag, is it? You and Dave Allen were big mates yesterday. I had to separate you a few times. Yeah. But it was separating you from being like best pals act. Why is that?
Because I'm a professional athlete, I'm a professional man. And whether I like someone or not, when I get in that ring, I'm going to try and knock 7 bells out of you. So it doesn't matter if I like you or not.
Do you need to make a statement against him?
Don't have to do anything other than win.
He bullied you 5 years ago in a sparring session.
He did.
You said.
He did. But that was 5 years ago.
It's interesting that you say that, because that can be the moulding of a fighter, and you learn so much from that. I've had similar experiences myself. Yeah. What did you take from that sparring session, and how did that kick you on to become, to get to where you've got to today?
Well, at the time, I was really messing about, really. I was playing rugby full time and coming back on a weekend from Exeter, do a bit of sparring at the Repton, do a bit with my trainer, Jamie Williams, at the time, and he said, go and spar Dave Allen. I said, why not? I love watching him on the telly when he was on Sky at the time, and what I learnt about myself is that I've got the minerals, I think as a heavyweight boxer, you've got to have heart and you've got to have cojones. And I've got cojones. I know that from that spar and several spars that I've been in before.
Can I just say, obviously, it's the Romford Bull against the White Rhino of Doncaster. Yes. You're very explosive. You like to entertain. He's got a great jab and a big overhand right. That's generally what he uses. But you're going to take it to him in Riyadh. It's obviously on the undercard of Fury and Usyk. You guys could steal the show with an explosive encounter.
It could be. We could do. Someone asked me about, do you always come out guns blazing? I said, really, I just decide within the 10 seconds of the bell going. I don't know if you've the same.
I bet Mark Tibbs, your trainer, loves that.
Yeah, well, I think it's very important in the first 10, 15 seconds of a fight to set the context and the narrative of that first round. You look at Dubois and Joshua. Dubois went straight across the centre of that ring, took the centre and was jabbing. Weren't overly aggressive, but he established dominance, and I think you have to establish that, and that can set up the first part of the fight, and then establishing what you want in the first part of the fight then sets up the rest of it, so it's important.
I think it really is important that you go out there and you stamp your authority early on in a fight. When you go like that, you let them know that you're there, let them feel that jab, let them feel the right hand, because that stops them getting to any sort of rhythm and any sort of momentum. You done that actually last time out, didn't you? You went out there and, like you say, instinctive in what happens. Yeah. You go out there not knowing what it is, but it's just an instinctive thing.
And the same with my area title fight. Like the first jab I threw, pushed him right back onto the ropes, Harry Armstrong, and then I knocked him down 10 seconds later. But I'm trying to be more educated with what I do. It doesn't mean just go across the ring and throw overhand rights. It means, as you said, Spencer, it might be a couple of solid jabs and then you hold the centre. It doesn't mean throw 10 punch combination. But if I see an opening after I've thrown a jab and a 1-2, I'm going to throw 6 or 7 shots, because that's my instinctive nature as a fighter.
At the press conference yesterday, obviously there were 2. There was the undercard press conference, and we were all there many hours yesterday, and then the FuryUsyk press conference. We're in a very historical building. You've got a degree in history, of course. Yes. Special subject there was Nazi Germany, wasn't it?
No, it was the Russian Revolution.
Sorry, it was the Russian Revolution.
The aerial bombing of Germany in my dissertation.
In your dissertation. Yeah. Apologies.
Yeah, no
Apologies, history buffs
right,
watching. Yeah. Thank you for correcting me, Johnny. But we were in the very historical Guildhall yesterday. And I started to light a fire under you.
Because I've not
a 15th century building.
Yeah, well,
12th century parts
14th
of it.
century was like when it started becoming the administrative centre of London.
Of the heart of London.
Yeah, and then I'd done a little bit more research after you told me about it, and it went back as early as like a town hall sort of thing in the 12th century. So it was in the epicentre of London, really, there.
And you know the expression sent to Coventry?
Yeah.
That originated there because if the merchants didn't follow the rules that were set down by the administration, they were physically sent to Coventry.
And you know all them sort of...
You love your history.
Yeah, and then when you start talking about that, you know all them stupid rules they've got in old common law, like don't run with a salmon fish along the Houses of Parliament.
Only allowed your flock of sheep over Tower Bridge before 5 a.m.
That's where they all come from.
Those kind of things,
I can still get you nicked for that, mate, because you like a flock of sheep.
Listen, did you go down to the amphitheatre? Did you go down to the amphitheatre, Johnny, yesterday?
By the way, on the history, there's still a gallows at the Prospect.
That's a little red herring. Do you know why? Because there's 2 pubs there. you've got the prospect of Whitby and you've got the town of Ramsgate, and the town of Ramsgate is where they actually did the hangings.
Captain Cook and all those
Yeah, the
guys,
prospect of Whitby is just a ceremonial, touristic piece. My granddad used to drink in that pub.
Anyway, welcome to the History Channel with Johnny Fisher.
Yeah. Listen, I was just asking you, did you go down to that amphitheatre where boxing began underneath? Didn't you go down there? I was absolutely. Yeah, that's where it actually began. Yeah, that's where boxing actually started, and it was over time, 2,000 years. That's how far it's dropped, and they built on top of it. It was like, as a history lesson.
The Romans, when they were in Londinium, as it was then, it was Londinium. So people got audience laughing here, but they built an amphitheatre, and Guildhall is built on top of the amphitheatre that they
Do you not find
excavated.
that fascinating though? Like thousands of years ago, there have been two blokes with like leather straps around their hands, giving it some.
And as Spencer knows, they still reenact it every year, don't they?
They do, absolutely.
It's amazing. There's so many little nooks and crannies in London itself, let alone the rest of Great Britain, that you can find little nuggets like that.
Right, enough of the History Channel. Riyadh, December 21st. Are you getting a stoppage or not against Dave Allen?
Always looking for a stoppage, of course I am. But however a win comes, I know it's a boring answer, but a win is a win. And momentum is everything in this game.
Listen, he comes with a wealth of experience, but he's a very difficult guy to read as well, Dave Allen. Where you go, what sort of appetites he got left? You know, what sort of enthusiasm is there? He don't let too much out of the bag, and that's what I've sensed in the build-up to this one. He's sort of playing that. He's playing that. Well, we'll see how it goes. You're obviously the favourite, but you don't really know, do you?
What he's doing is he's putting all the pressure completely on me by saying, "Listen, I'm happy to be here. I'm grateful. I hear all that, but I know the character of Dave Allen. I think he knows that I'm not a stupid man." He's going to try and lull me, but my job is to not be lulled into it. And he's not an old man, he's 32. He's going to try and lull me, get my psyche relaxed, but I'm not going to be relaxed in the fight. I'm relaxed now because I've got 8 weeks till we fight. What's the point of being worked up now?
Do you relax around Gareth as well, yeah?
Gareth, I relax amazingly because, you know, the linguistics the man has, just, it soothes the brain, you know.
Well, we're all polyglots here, aren't we?
What the hell does that mean?
I don't know.
But the funny thing is, and it was brilliant, I've got one more question, but Spencer and I will never forget coming to your mother and father's home for the China. No, but we got the wushu sticks out. Your dad, you saved me from getting beaten up by Big John that night because I'd taken his chicken balls.
You went to take my chicken balls.
Anyway, you want chicken balls, as he said. None of it was acting, by the way. It was brilliant. It was like a Guy Ritchie. The way you guys put it together. Anyway, look, final question. Main event on December the 21st. Who wins? Usyk and Fury.
I'm obviously backing Tyson Fury, but from an unbiased perspective, if I look at it like from a fighting perspective, if he invested a body like he did in them first rounds and carries that on and puts a little bit more effort into that than the showboating, I really do think he can stop Usyk, because rounds 6 to 7, Usyk was in a bit of trouble. And he turned it round, but Fury can't let him off the hook again, and I think he'll do the job.
Don't miss the Bull against the White Rhino, December the 21st. Thank you, gents.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.